Now then folks, it's been a while. Sorry I've not done any videos because I've just not been well enough. I've been coming down bits and bobs, but I've not really been doing much apart from picking stuff and eating it. I've had a rough time, just so tired, just so tired all the time. We've been back at work. I'm completely knackered by the time I get home, so same on a weekend. I've just not really been well enough to do much, so I've been plodding on. Strawberries, they want hacking back now. My leeks in this second of the sort of first beds, they're doing it nice. You know, they're a bit behind because they're a bit late, but they're doing fine. Now, raspberries, me summer raspberries, God, I had loads off of them. Really pleased. So I've basically sorted them out now for next year. I've pulled all bar, well, some have got 3, some have got 4, some have got 5, depending on how well spread they are. I might take a couple more out, because if you can see, they're quite compact. I'll probably take out 1 or 2 more, but I'll see what happens, because I don't know if you know, but these will be summer fruit on last year's wood, but basically they're like side shoot, and they send out loads of side shoots, and it's the little side shoots that have the fruit on. So if you have too many main canes, you're gonna end up with miles too much foliage, and you're gonna be searching around and missing fruit. So it's sometimes best to not be too greedy with the amount of canes if you can spread them out. I've given them a top dressing of the old manure that was round my potato tubs. I've sorted all them out, I'll show you them in a minute. So this is the old rotted manure that was all around my potato tubs. So there's a good 2-inch on there, it's well rotted down. What I'm going to do on top of that, I'm going to cap it in with hops. I'll spend the next few weeks going to hop breweries and getting as many bags of hops as I can, and I'll cap in that manure with hops, because the birds don't seem to flick the hops about as much. My gooseberry bush, well, it looks half dead, but it just got so fly late on. There's a lot of spindly little stuff, so in a week or 2 I'm going to get in and just give it a bit of a haircut. Excuse me. You never hack gooseberries all the way back because they grow on last year's wood, so I don't want to be taking too much out. My Joan Jay, I've had a bit of a mixed result with these ones at this end. They're just pale, they've not really done much. I mean, there's a few bits and bobs. I've put the wires up now, but this end, I mean, although this is the first year, there's tons of fruit on some of the canes. I mean, if you look at that cane there, I mean, it's literally full. So I am getting some, and they're huge, that size of my thumb, which, trust me, is not a little thumb. So I'm looking forward to them for next year. Same again with these. I've had a bit of a clean round bottom, pulled out loads of little straggly bits, just to give these canes a chance to grow and get all the energy, and then let them die right back and put the energy back into the roots. So I'm hoping that next year this end picks itself up a bit. Parsnips are huge. Parsnips are spot on. I've had a little bit of a delve round, and they're already massive. So as soon as we get a frost, I'll be having some of them out. I might even take one out early and just put it in fridge overnight. Just apparently that sweetens them up. Tayberries, I've done really well with them, but it really is a love-hate relationship. They are the prickliest thing I've ever met, I've ever come across, and I've met some prickly people, but these are the prickliest things I've ever come across. Now, I saw on YouTube the other day some thornless ones. So what I'm going to do is, if I can get hold of a thornless one next year in the spring, I'm going to dig this one out. I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to burn it, and I'm going to put a thornless one in there, and then I'll see how that goes, and if it works, then the following year I'll take that one out, and then the following year I'll take that one out. So in 3 years I'll still have some taberries, I'll have some new taberries, and I won't be without taberries, because to be honest I love them. Mix them with the raspberries that I got off them, and they were phenomenal. Rhubarb, I've picked everything, cleaned it all off. I did that quite a while ago, and it sort of sprouted a little bit, but it's going to sleep now. That one's dormant. I've pulled everything off there. Same again here. It's still got plenty of manure down, but I'm just going to start covering it with hops. I'm going to put 3 or 4 inches of hops on. Hops are brilliant. They hold the moisture in and everything. We'll get onto them in a minute. So I've started to dig out the carrot bed, and I'm just going to use the soil around the allotment because it had carrot fly in it. My Cavolo Nero's berserk. I'm eating it and pulling it, and I've just chopped a whole one out because it's just gone all over the shop. Not pretty, but spot on. My Swedes, mixed results. I don't know if you can see in there. There's a nice size one in there, but there's a lot of smaller ones that just don't seem to be filling out at all. Now, to be honest, I haven't watered these Swedes at all year, apart from when they first went in. But why have some got big and some not? The ground it's not really been bone dry or anything, because there's been enough greenery to cover it up, and we've had enough rain. So I'm not sure. Now I do know I've had moles in these bottom 2 beds, so whether the moles have dug through and tunnelled and knackered the roots, I don't know, because I did have a problem with some of these leeks. This is my second set of leeks. Some of them, anyway, I've trapped them all. I've killed one. I don't like killing them, but if they're coming in here, because they won't stay out there now, I could stay on that. You know, it's just a disgrace now. They're just tipping so much crap, and all that lot is going to come down, and they're going to tip all there. They're going to build that land up by about 1/2 metre to 1 metre, and they're just going to fill it with crap, absolute garbage, just basically non-toxic landfill, and then put the dirt back on it and build houses. Ace. Oh well. My little plum tree, I've had 3 plums off of her. She's not looking fantastic. I'll give it a good dose of Epsom salts. We'll just see. I'm going to give her a prune in spring, and I'll take out some, open her up a bit more, and we'll just see how we get on with her. Pond's been a roaring success. There's no under there, I just moved it there. Oh, my asparagus, ready to go into my asparagus bed next year. Pond, I've got a frog in it. I've had a frog in it for a while. I don't know, I think I said, this is going to be a wildlife area. I'll clean the pond back a bit, as in the marsh marigolds, the king cups. I will clean them back a bit, because I don't want a load of crap going in pond. And then once these leaves start to fall off of this beech tree, I'm going to put a net over it. I'm going to put one of these nets that I've got lying. I'm going to put one of them over it just to stop the leaves going in until all the leaves have dropped off. But all the plants around, you know, like the lupins, I've just taken tops off. I'm leaving them. I'm just leaving them to rot back, rot down, fall down, and just, I'm not going to tidy it up. I might do a tiny tidy, but I'm not going to tidy it up. So pond, you know, spot on. Hopefully I'll get some more frogs in there. I'm well happy with it. Nelly loves it. The courgettes, I've had bucket loads of courgettes. I've got some more in here. One of them has stopped producing, so I've taken that out. The manure that was in here has broken down to, well, you can see, beautiful stuff. So I'll have that out, and I'll have that on my raspberries. This compost bin, go on a minute, sun's come out, sorry for the shadow. This compost bin's rotting away nicely. This one I'm filling, just keep topping it up. Little strawberries in a pot there, I've just cleaned them off. So, potatoes. I've taken all the tops off of them now. They've got sheets on. I've taken all the manure around them so they can they won't get too wet or moist, and I've put the manure on raspberries. And I'll just leave them there until I need them. Just cover them over so no more moisture gets in. All my Charlottes are under. I know that says Charlotte, if you can read it, but it's not Charlotte. It's written on the back. So all my Charlottes are under here. I've graded them into big ones and small ones. They make the most amazing roast tatties. The Charlottes, amazing. One of my biggest successes this year. Let's see if I can get this off without dropping it on me. Just bear me a second. It's not easy with one hand. Me onions. Them's lovely, big Spanish onions. I'll rest that on my head. It's a shade, shadow, bloody useless. There you go, lovely. They're drying away nicely in there. My banana shallots drying there, and my red onions. So there, I've had one or two split, but I don't store them. So I'll just put this back on. I don't store them as whole onions. I basically put them through a food processor, slice them all up, and freeze them, and then just get them out when I want. So it means I've got my beans have gone. My bean frame, took that down. So this bed, the onion bed, it's been top dressed with 4 or 5 buckets of tatty compost, then 4 or 5 buckets out of the carrot bin. So that's ready. That's getting spring greens. This one is just got stuff that I need to burn. We're gonna burn that later on this afternoon, and I'll do the same. I'll top dress this bed, and this salad bed. It's been same 4 or 5 buckets of tatty compost, and then I'm just now putting the compost, the sandy compost, out of the carrot box. So that's a quick update. I'm sorry it's a bit of a mess. I've just been able to come down and do the things I've had to do. I really don't like. I mean, I've not been able to do any more path. It's just a mess up there because I've been cutting back all my spuds and everything. So I'll have a sweep up before I go home. But successes, raspberries, amazing. Oh, my little apple. Really success with me summer raspberries, and I do think it is to do with mega mulching them with loads of manure on top. Don't dig it in, because they are very shallow rooted, the raspberries. So, and they're spread far and wide, as you well know. So loads of well rotted manure on top, and leave them alone. My little apples, my little apple tree that I'm espaliering, lovely little apple. They're only little, but they're really nice. I mean, they're not quite ready. I did eat one this morning, but it tasted beautiful. One thing I'm not happy with, and I don't know anybody else who's got these, is these thornless blackberries. To be honest, they go everywhere. They don't really give a great yield, and what comes out is so sour. The blackberries are so sour, it's unreal. So I'm tempted to take them out because they're an absolute nightmare. They grow everywhere. I don't know if it's just this variety, which I've got it in the shed. I can't remember what it is, but you know, the leaders, they go everywhere. They're massive. You know, that's like 6 foot long. They're 6 or 7 foot long. I've either got to take all these strawberries out and just spend ages tying them in and making them nice so that I can get to them, or I take them out and bin them for sake of a few blackberries. The one that's up there, I don't know if you can see, that one there, that one seems to be different. I think it's a different variety. So I'm going to tie it into the fence this year. It doesn't seem to be out like as vigorous. So I'm going to tie it into the fence, and I'm going to see where we go with that one. So right folks, that's about it really. Like I say, I'm plodding on this year. I've not been able to do much, you know, that I really wanted to do. I've been helping my friend the last few days next door. I don't know whether you can see, he's putting a new polytunnel cover on, and I've talked him into raised beds. He's a raised bed convert. He'll watch this and he'll call me all sorts. But we've been building raised beds. I don't know if you can see them in there. Fat finger time. I won't go in, 'cause it's not fair to go in somebody else's allotment. But we've built raised beds, 2 beds down each side, and then he's got a 4-foot path in the middle, and it's going to be so much easier for him. Like I said, he has actually converted to raised beds, and they are raised beds, no dig. It is an absolute doddle, folks. You know, I know people say, some people don't like it, right, and they say, oh, you must dig soil. I'm gonna waffle on a bit now, right? Some people say you must dig soil, you must dig manure in, you know, I've done it forever. You know, this is how it's done, that's how they did it, and they got fantastic yields. The thing is, simplified, if you dig soil and incorporate well-rotted matter, when you dig it, you kill off whatever percentage of the natural organisms, bacterias, the goodies in the soil, right? You kill half of them off, and then by putting back in all the nutrients and the nutriment that you put in with your manure, your compost, that then builds it back up again, right? So that year, yes, you get a good crop and it's aerated because you've dug it, but it soon then compacts and your plants take off. So you do it again the following year. You dig it, which aerates it, which the nutrients you put in, you know, the then plants get. Right, true no dig, where you do not walk on your soil and you feed the soil on the top every year, and the worms come up and take it down. So by not disturbing that soil, you do not kill any organisms, bacteria, anything, all the goodies. You do not kill them. You also don't turn the worms up so the birds can bloody eat them. And so you build up that soil structure and that soil fertility and that soil life. You build that up year on. And okay, it's going to get to a point where it's going to get as fertile and it's going to get as good as it can, because, you know, your plants take out and some plants take more. But it takes, for instance, this bed takes 5-10 minutes to throw some compost on it. That's it. And I cap in any weed seeds. I don't hardly do any weeding. When you turn soil over, you bring weeds to the surface. So I literally don't do hardly any weeding at all on these raised beds. The first little flush from the compost, you pick them out with your fingers, and that's it. I've gone weeks and weeks without weeding on some of these beds. You know, so all that effort to remineralise, reneutralise, refertilise, reoxygenate your soil, you're basically doing all that work and you don't need to. But also, you shouldn't really walk on your beds. Now, Charles Dowding, like he says, he does walk on his because there's no soil content in what he's putting in, and he just he starts off by putting 6 inch of compost. Well, you know yourself, compost doesn't compact. It's the clay and the soil element of soil that compacts, right? Compost hasn't got all that. So he does walk on it, but only minimally. But I just don't walk on mine at all. I don't put any weight on them at all. I just basically top dress them. And it is really a fantastic way and an easy way, so that, like, I'm 48 in 2 weeks and 2 strokes and cancer. I'm knackered. I'm knackered. You know, ex-rugby prop, it does me head in. It really does do me head in. It's really frustrating. But I can come down here and enjoy myself and have a really good time and not after work. I've done my work, I've built my beds. You know, I really, really enjoy coming down here. Even if I just sit down here, have a cup of tea and take a few veg home. Right, folks, sorry, rant over, but, you know, it's a few people have been dissing no dig just lately, I've noticed on YouTube, and if it's not right for you, then fine, don't do it. But it works, and it works well, and it works well for people who just don't have the energy, who aren't physically strong enough, who aren't physically fit enough to dig over and be digging over. You know, I don't have massive compost bins yet. I've got 4, but one's full of manure, one's full of leaves. I've got 2 compost bins. I buy in a bit of compost which I mix with my compost for my potatoes, and then my potatoes in buckets, the soil out of the potatoes in buckets just gets spread on my beds. You know, if I've only got ½ inch of compost to put on, I'll just put ½ inch of compost on. If I've got 2 inch worth, I'll put 2 inch. Just you put on whatever you can, you know, and the more you do it, the less you actually need to put on. So right, folks, I hope you enjoyed my little plot tour and my little whinge on, but I'll say bye-bye for now, and I'll leave you with the lovely view I've got now. Hopefully this time next year there will be nice houses. I mean, they do build nice houses, the people that are building, so touch wood. Okie doke, thanks, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.